from our country. And then other people on the opposite end of the spectrum, Jermichael Friendly, who wrote, "Athletes are looked up to and serve as role models, leave personal opinions about race and politics alone. Do what you get paid to do and play." But of course, Chris Long, the Long family, they also have clearly a connection to that area and a connection to Virginia. Here's what Chris Long had to say about the violence in his hometown.
I mean, listen, like the way I feel one day, because my hometown is in turmoil, you know, I'm not the victim here. You know, the victims are people that are, you know, that suffer from the consequences of white supremacy in our country. People that actually watch that on TV and are minorities and might not feel like they can be safe with stuff like that going on. So, yeah, it pisses you off, but I can only imagine actually being a victim of that.
Now, LZ, all this is happening on what is the one-year anniversary of when Colin Kaepernick decided to have his national anthem protest. But what happened this weekend, and obviously hearing what a bunch of different athletes had to say, is what happened in Charlottesville, again, another watershed moment for sports and for athletes and activism?
You know, I don't necessarily believe in watershed moments. I think it's a constant drip, 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 drip. If we look for the magic bullet, or if we look for, you know, watershed moments to make everything flip, we're going to keep looking. All we can hope for is that athletes and anyone else with a voice continue to work away at this centuries-long problem, which is the racial divide. And the only thing I would say in terms of, you know, what the Long brothers have said is that, yes, it is true that white supremacy seems to be directed at minority communities, but it's a sickness that affects all of us. You know, I like to talk about the Chris Rock joke that it wasn't black people that came a long way, it was white people that came a long way. That black people always knew we were 100% human, it was white people that finally figured that out. And the same thing goes with white supremacy. It is an issue that seems to oppress minorities, but I would argue that it also oppresses white people as well, because it prevents us from being able to be the type of country we all aspire to be. Right now, America is better than this. It's just a lofty goal. What we wanted to make it is a fact, but the only way to make it a fact is to accept the fact that racism, just like sexism, homophobia, and all these other ills impact all of us, whether we think we're directly impacted or not. And in regards to Colin Kaepernick, I would also just add that if you're one of those individuals that tweeted or hashtag America is better than this is exactly what Colin Kaepernick was saying a year ago when he started his protest. He wasn't saying he hated police officers or the military. He said there is a racial sickness in this country and that he can no longer pretend as if it is not there. That's what his protest was about. So if you felt that the issues that is being addressed right now in the country are separate from Colin Kaepernick, you're wrong. They are definitely connected.
And it doesn't matter if you dribble a basketball or throw a football or wear a jersey, you're impacted from it too, because for some reason people have this idea that because you play sports and you might make millions of dollars, that somehow shields you from racism, racial oppression, and all the other ills that you mentioned. But thank you so much, LZ, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And make sure, everyone, you check out his article on The Undefeated.